So what do you make also, there have been quite a few pro-Palestinian protests happening today in the UK. One group held a quote-unquote die-in in front of the Prime Minister's office, as well as thousands of demonstrators going to the U.S. Embassy in London. Why the timing now? I mean, this has been going on, obviously, for the past year, but what's different this week?
Nothing different. They are obsessed. I mean, look, there are lots of other things going on in the world. For example, a week or two ago, Turkey, which is a European country, a member of NATO, bombed Kurds. And of course, Kurds are also Muslims, and they don't care less. There is a real genocide going on in Sudan, a mass genocide, a mass famine, not a kind of concocted, phony genocide that's accused against Israel. And they don't care less. They're meant to say Black Lives Matter. Well, why don't they care about Sudan? It's partly that the perpetrators in Sudan are actually Arab militias against sub-Saharan Black Africans. So they are full of hypocrisy and one-sidedness and anti-Zionism, and some would say anti-Semitism.
Also, let's turn to the BBC. I mean, we have seen throughout the course of this war, BBC, throwing out a lot of headlines that are not balanced, definitely not known, seeming to be, balanced and, I mean, biased against Israel in so many ways. But now there's actually a new report about staff, as many as 100 of them, writing a letter accusing the broadcaster, of actually favoring Israel in this war coverage. Your thoughts on that?
Yes, it is preposterous. Okay, so 230 media professionals, including more than 100 BBC staff, have written to the Director General of the BBC, accusing the BBC of pro-Israel bias and not reporting enough on what they call crimes against humanity, genocide and apartheid. I mean, it is preposterous. Wow. We know, again, what I want to say is they're digging themselves into a hole. It's not just the British that have sort of thought the BBC is becoming a laughing stock. I mean, one tweet I saw the other day from the former world chess champion, Garry Kasparov, he said, the BBC used to be the Mecca of journalism. Now it's just Mecca. Yeah. I mean, some BBC staff are literally pro-Hamas, pro-Hezbollah, pro-terrorist. They become the mouthpieces of Hamas. They never even mention Emily Damari, who is a British hostage in Gaza, age 28. She's rotting and abused, and God knows what else is being done to her in Gaza. Most BBC staff have probably never heard of her.
Wow, and they've never mentioned her, huh? Wow.
Wow, maybe once, I think once since October last year. It's pathetic. I don't think this letter will impress anyone. The BBC get huge public funding. They're meant to be neutral. It's not an accident that often former BBC staff go and work for Al Jazeera, which is, part of the Qatari dictatorship, essentially Al Jazeera, the same dictatorship that funds Hamas. So, the BBC used to be a wonderful institution, and it still makes good dramas and documentaries, but its news division is become it's like a propaganda arm of Hamas.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, political commentator Tom Gross. Much appreciated.